Welcome to this presentation. In order to explain the use and benefits of ISO 8000, I will start by pointing out the data quality problems as currently experienced on a global level. Thereafter, we will look at the requirements according to ISO 8000 standards. This will then be followed by practical examples, as captured from the Pilog application. The Pilog application is developed by following 5 steps. Step 1, we identified the problem. Step 2, we looked for a solution. Step 3, we found the solution in ISO 8000. Step 4, we built our software application to comply with the ISO 8000 requirements. Step 5, we solve the data quality problem. When you look at the picture, what is it telling you? It simply states that an item not available on a computer system does not exist. We live in a computer-centric environment. If you have ever tried to argue with a computer, you will learn one thing: it is the computer that usually wins the argument. If the computer says, "There are none in stock," you may want to start looking elsewhere. If the warehouse is small, and you have some pull with the warehouse manager, yes, you could search the warehouse. But think of the time and cost involved, not mentioning the additional time cost and consequence of having to fix the records if you were right. You would be challenging the truth, throwing the whole system into chaos. This is not a computer problem, it is a data problem. Data has actually been the reality for a very long time. Ownership of property, birth, marriage and divorce are all represented by recorded data. Lose the data and the reality goes too. In the news in Johannesburg, South Africa, on Valentine's Day, no less a couple who had lost their marriage certificate were dismayed to find that the official records had been lost too. The problem addressed here is because no standard is followed during the data capturing process. Data available on your computer system, but labeled incorrectly, is of no use. This problem will be eliminated when working according to ISO 8000 standards. Therefore, when someone sends you data, and claim it is quality data, it must be readable and correctly labeled. ISO 8000 quality data can be measured by data that meets requirements, data that is unambiguously encoded, and data that is application independent. Starting with the data capture process, I will now show you an example in the Pilog application, addressing the ISO requirement. Data that is unambiguously encoded. The EOTD (ECMA) Open Technical Dictionary is an open public registry of terminology from international and national standards. The EOTD gives each concept a different identifier. So when you are talking about, for example, seal cap metallic, everyone knows what concept you are talking about. Each concept is uniquely termed. A detailed definition is registered for each concept. All concept types are registered in the EOTD. For each concept type registered, a unique term is linked. In order to describe the term, a detailed definition is linked. Now that you are familiar with the EOTD, I will move on to the next ISO requirement, which is data that meets requirements. What is important to know about the Pilog application is the following. We enable the user to electronically create his own data requirement, according to ISO 8000 standards. This can only be done by using the concepts as registered within the EOTD. The user can therefore be assured that no incorrect term is used in a data requirement. By looking at the previous example, it is clear that each term is uniquely defined in the EOTD. Let us now look at a practical example. Data requirements are used to define the required characteristics needed to describe a class of items. Reference data can be specified for a data requirement. Characteristic data contains all the properties and property values as listed on the data requirement. All data types, as recorded in ISO 8000-22745, is available in the Pilog application for new data requirement registrations. To understand more about the future of your data, I will move on to the next ISO 8000 requirement, which is data that is application independent. It is a very important aspect to be able to share your data. The Pilog application allows this flexibility. We enable the user to use his data, independent from our software application. This gives the user full ownership of his data. The Pilog application does not force shared ownership of data, as is the case in most other software applications. To understand my statement better, I will explain it as follows. If you need a specific software application, in order to access your own data, this means the following. You are sharing ownership of your data with the software application owner. Let us now move on to some practical examples, as captured from the Pilog applications. A data requirement can be viewed or edited from the XML editor. This data is not application dependent. From the tree menu, the class node is expanded to view the properties linked to this class. To open the next level, the property node is expanded to view the data type and values linked to the property. For each concept, the attribute name, as well as the encoded value, is retrieved and displayed as registered in the ECMA Open Technical Dictionary. By opening an existing data requirement that is stored in XML format, this data requirement can now be viewed, edited, validated and transferred. An existing value can be edited, and the changes are saved. The data requirement can be viewed in XML format. Changes made to the data requirement can be validated. The data requirement can be exported and saved. For more information about our products and services, and how to qualify as a certified ISO 8000 specialist, we at Pilog look forward to hear from you.